The Long Walk. The Long Walk by Stephen King, published under the pen name of Richard Bachman. Goes like this. I'm in the chapter number 11, so let us continue. By the way, this music that you are listening to, it's from this particular video game, this random rip-off of Pac-Man called Pac Bomber. I hope this song is legal, so to speak. Chapter number 11 of The Long Walk by Stephen King under the pen name, the pseudonym of Richard Bachman. It starts, "Come on, assholes! You want to live forever?" Unknown World War I, Top Sergeant. They pass into Old Town around midnight. They switch through two feeder roads, joined road number 2, and went through the center of town. For Ray Garrity, the entire passage was a blurred, sleep-hazed nightmare. The cheering nose and swelled. The cheering rose, and swelled until it seemed to cut off any possibility of thought or reason. Night was turned into glaring, shadowless day by flaring arc sodium lamps that threw a strange orange light. In such a light, even the most friendly face looked like something from a crypt. Confetti, newspaper, shredded pieces of telephone book, and long steamers of toilet paper floated and soared from second and third story windows. It was a New York ticker tape parade in Bush League, USA. No one died in Old Town. The orange arc lamps faded, and the crowd depleted a little as they walked along the Stillwater River in the trench of morning. It was May the 3rd now. The ripe smell of paper mill smote them. A juicy smell of chemicals, wood smoke, polluted river, and stomach cancer waiting to happen. There were conical piles of sawdust higher than the buildings downtown. Heap stacks of pulpwood stood to the sky like monoliths. Garrity dozed and dreamed his shadowy dreams of relief and redemption, and after what seemed to be an eternity, someone began jabbing him in the ribs. It was McBride's. "What's the matter? What's the matter? We're going on the turnpike," McBride said. He was excited. "The word's back. They got a whole son of a bitchin' colored guard on the entrance ramp. We're gonna get a 400 gun salute." Into the Valley of Death rode the 400, Garrity muttered, rubbing the sleepy seeds out of his eyes. "I've heard too many 3-gun salutes tonight. Not interested. Let me sleep." "Hey, George." "That isn't the point. After they get down, we're gonna give them a salute." "Huh. We are?" "Yeah, a 46-man raspberry." Garrity grinned a little. He felt stiff and uncertain in his hips. "That right?" "It certainly is. Well, a 40-man raspberry. A few of the guys are pretty far gone now." Garrity had a brief vision of Olsen, the human Flying Dutchman. "Well, count me in," he then said. "Bunch up with us a little then." Garrity picked it up. He and McBride moved in, tired with Person, Abraham, Baker, and Scrum. The leather boys have further shortened their vanguard. "Barkovich in on it?" Garrity asked. McBride snorted. "He thinks it's the greatest idea since pay toilets." Garrity clutched his cold body a little tighter to himself and let out a humorless little giggle. Is it jiggle or giggle? Somebody correct me in the comments. "I bet he's got a hell of a wicked raspberry." They were paralleling the turnpike now. Garrity could see the steep embankment to his right. and the fuzzy glow of more arc sodiums. Bone white this time. Oh, that's my cat over there. Above. A distance ahead, perhaps half a mile, the entrance ramp split off and climbed. "Here we come," McBride said. "Kathy! Kathy!" Scram yelled suddenly, making Garrity start. "I ain't gave up yet, Kathy!" He turned his blank, fever-glittering eyes on Garrity. There was no recognition in them. His cheeks were flushed, his lips cracked with fever blisters. "He ain't so good," Baker said apologetically, as if he had caused it. We've been giving him water every now and again, also sort of pouring it over his head, but his canteen's almost empty. And if he wants another one, he'll have to holler for it himself. It's the rules." "Hey, Scram," Garrity said. "Who's that?" Scram eyes rolled wildly in their sockets. "Me? It's me, Garrity." "Oh, you seen Kathy? You seen Kathy? Kathy?" "No," Garrity said uncomfortably. "Here we come," McBride said. The crowd's cheers rose in volume again. That's my cat playing with the back. "Here we come," McBride said. The crowd's cheers rose in volume again, and a ghostly green sign came out of the darkness. "Interstate 95, Augusta, Portland, Portsmouth, point south." "Hey, that's us," Abraham whispered. "God help us," and point south. The exit ramp tilted up under their feet. They were present to the first flash of light from the overhead arcs. The new paving was smoother beneath their feet, and Garrity felt a similar lift drop of excitement. The soldiers of the color guard displaced the crowd along the upward spiral of the ramp. They silently held their rifles to high port. Their dress uniforms gleamed resplendently. Their own soldiers in their dusty half-track looked shabby by comparison. It was like rising above a huge and restless sea of noise, and into the cabin air. The only sound was their footfalls and the hurried pace of their breathing. The entrance ramp seemed to go on forever, and always the way was fringed by soldiers in scarlet uniforms, their arms held in high port salute. And then, from the darkness somewhere, came the major electronically amplified voice. "Prison arms!" With weapons slapped flesh. "Salute ready!" Guns to shoulders pointed skyward above them in a steely arc. Everyone instinctively huddled together against the crash which meant death. It had been Pavloved into them. Pavloved? What kind of verb is that? Pavloved. Pavloved into them. What the heck does that mean? Let us continue. 400 guns in the night. Stupendous, ear-shattering. Garrity fought down the urge to put his hands to his head. Fire! Again, the smell of powder smoke, acrid, heavy with cordite. In what book did they fire guns over the water to bring the body of a drowned man to the surface? My head, Scram moaned. Oh Jesus, my head aches. Fire! The guns exploded for the third and last time. McBride immediately turned around and walked backward, his face going a spotty red with the effort it caused him to shout, "Prison arms!" 40 tongues pursed again. Let us continue. 40 tongues pursed 40 set of lips. Salute, ready! Garrity drew breath into his lungs and fought to hold it. Fire! It was pitiful, really. A pitiful little noise of defiance in the big dark. It was not repeated. The wooden faces of their color guard did not change, but seemed all the same to indicate a subtle reproach. "Ah, screw it," said McBride. He turned around and began to walk frontwards again, with his head down. The pavement leveled off. They were on the turnpike. There was a brief vision of the major's jeep spurting away to the south, a flicker of cold fluorescent light against black sunglasses, and then the crowd closed in again, but farther from them now, for the highway was 4 lanes wide, 5 if you counted the grassy median strip. Garrity then Garrity angled the median quickly, and, walking the close scrub grass, feeling the dew seep through his cracked shoes and pain his ankles. Someone was warned. The turnpike stretched ahead, flat and monotonous, stretches of concrete tubing divided by this green inset, all of it banded together by strips of white light from the arc sodiums above. Their shadows were sharp and clear and long, as if thrown by a summer moon. Garrity tipped his canteen up, swigged deep, recapped it, and began to doze again. 80, maybe 84 miles to Augusta. The feel of the wet grass was soothing. He stumbled, almost fell, not felt. F-E-L-L, not F-E-L-T. Some fool had planted the pines in the medium strip. He knew it was the state tree, but wasn't that taking it a little far? How could they expect you to walk on the grass when there were suspension points to be continued, sort of. Garrity moved over to the left lane, where most of them were walking. 2 more half-trucks had rattled onto the turnpike at the Orono, O-R-O-N-O, entrance to fully cover the 46 walkers now left. They didn't expect you to walk on the grass. Another joke on you, Garrity, old sport. Nothing vital, just another little... Nothing vital, just another little disappointment. Trivial, really. Just don't dare wish for anything, and don't count on anything. The doors are closing. One by one they are closing. They'll drop out tonight, he said. They'll go like bugs on a wall tonight. I wouldn't count on it, Collie Parker said, and now he sounded worn and tired, subdued at last. Hey, why not? It's like shaking a box of crackers through a sieve, Garrity. The crumbs fall through Perry fast. Then the little pieces break, and they go too. But the big crackers, Parker's grin was a crescent flash of saliva-coated teeth in the darkness. The whole crackers have to bust off a crumb at a time. But such a long walk. But such a long way to walk. Still want to live, Parker said roughly. So do you. Don't shit me, Garrity. You and that guy McBride can walk down the road and bullshit the universe and each other. So what? It's all a bunch of phony crap. But it passes the time. But don't shit me. The bottom line is that you still want to live. So do most of the others. They'll die slow. They'll die one piece at a time. I might get it. I may get it. But right now I feel like I could walk all the way to New Orleans before I fell down on my knees for those wet ends in their kitty car. A car. Really? He felt a wave of despair wash over him. Really? Yeah. Yeah, really. Settle down, Garrity. We still got a long way to go. He strode away, up to where the leather boys Mike and Joe were pacing the group. Garrett's head dropped and he dozed again. His mind began to drift clear of his body. A huge sightless camera, full of unexposed films, snapping shots of everything and anything, running freely, painlessly, without friction. He thought of his father striding off big in green rubber boots. He thought of Jimmy Owens. He had hit Jimmy with the barrel of his hair rifle, and yes, he had meant to, because it had been Jimmy's idea.